Emphasize comparisons between language and sound system broadly, but not explicitly. This is closer to understanding of phonology, which focused on the way sounds interact and are used in particular language system. Phonology studies how the sounds of language are used to distinguish the meaning of words and how two sounds interact in sentence. Phonology helps us understand why certain sounds are treated differently in different languages and how these sounds affect the meaning and structure of language. After reading definition from two different sources, I can conclude that phonology is the study of pattern system and their meanings. Phonology studies sounds in the context of language and other speech. Phonology in concern with what sounds a language uses and how it arranges them. By studying phonology, we can understand how the sounds of language shape meanings, how language evolve, and how we communicate with each other. Phonology studies how speech sounds are organized, means that phonology focuses on the rules that organize the sound in language, rather than simply looking at the physical sounds. That is how the sounds are grouped, transformed, and relate to each other. There are two sound patterns, which are constructive sounds and non-constructive sounds. First, constructive sound. Constructive sound refer to the pattern of organization of phonemes in the pronunciation of a word. If one the phonemes is replaced with another sound, it will produce a new word with a different sounds and meaning from the previous word. And the second is non-constructive sounds, referring to the pattern of organization of speech sounds in the production of a word, where if one phoneme is exchanged for another phoneme, it will produce a different pronunciation, but the meaning are the same. The concept of a minimal pairs can be understood through three main characteristics, namely, contains the same number of segments, and then it only differs in one segment, and unless have different meanings. Based on these three main characteristics, a minimal pair can be defined as two words that have the same number of phonemes, but differ one is phonemes and meaning. Minimal pairs occur in two different perspectives, namely segmental sounds perspective and phonemic position perspective. The first segmental sounds perspective refers to how contrast the pronunciation of two words based on two types of sounds, both consonant and vowel. We know minimal pairs of consonants and minimal pairs of vowels. The following example illustrates a minimal pair based on a segmental sounds perspective. The first one, there are minimal pairs of consonant. For example, B and V in the word berry and fairy. And the second one is minimal pairs of vowels. For example, sit and seat, sit and seat, duduk dan kursi. Phonemic positional perspective refers to a way of distinguishing the pronunciation of two words based on the phoneme position that we recognize minimal pairs of beginning, middle, and end. First is initial minimal pairs, for example, fast and past. Second one is medial minimal pairs, for example, people and purple. And the last is final minimal pairs. And for example, in the word hat and head,